Hi, this is Caleb with A Safe Landing Counseling Services. This is a Christian perspective in counseling. There's a series that we've been going through. It's called Reclaiming Your Authority as a Husband. And here's part 3. And in this part, we're talking about taking back that authority as a husband, rebuilding trust. And some of the things that we want to talk about in this is consistency, because there is a way to approach marriage and approach the family that would help regain authority. And we want to be mindful of our spouse and of our children. So when we think about consistency, we previously talked about compassion. The way we have to enter into authority is to have compassion with our spouse and to bring that to the surface to help our spouse see that we care, know that we want to protect, know that we help them know that we are showing them that we are looking for their best interest and our heart is good towards them. So when we get into consistency, compassion will still lead, it will still lead the charge in regaining authority. And that compassion really comes into play heavily here, is that we need consistency with the compassion over time, and that will help us grow authority. Multiple components come into play with the consistency. And what we're going to start with is that of occurrence. So if I have the ability to show care and compassion over time and show that I am serious about what I'm saying, I keep showing up, I'm not going to give in, and I do that for a length of time or duration, that will actually show that I still believe what I'm doing. I have a purpose in what I'm doing, and it's meaningful. I'm not just giving over to what we talked about previously as placation. Well, nobody else is following me, so I'll just go with whatever anybody else wants. That doesn't help with authority. You give up authority when you do that. To just seek peace is giving up authority. But to lead with compassion and say, I know this is hard for us. I know this is difficult. I've prayed about it. This is the direction I'm going. I need to go with Christ in this because I've been praying about it. Now I need you to follow me. And doing that gently over time shows great authority. It's that you can step into your authority with Christ, that you're hearing from him, that you know that he is calling you into a certain path, a certain purpose, and a certain direction. And you say, hey, I've put my time and energy into thinking about this. This is where I'm going. And maybe your wife or maybe your children say, no, I don't like that. This is too hard. But you go back and you keep praying about it and you keep moving forward and asking God, is this right? And if he's telling you a certain direction, you go in that direction and you do it with compassion and gentleness over time. So occurrence, or how often, the duration, that's an important part of regaining authority. Another aspect of regaining authority is approach. Approach for your spouse and for your children and for your family really comes down to this. How are you drawing their heart out? How are you captivating their heart so that they know what you're doing is for their betterment, that it's caring, that you're not doing it because you are just so purpose-driven with zeal for something, that you're actually listening to their needs, to their wants, and to their desires. I can pray about things, I can hear from God, but sometimes I may be off in my timing. I may hear from God and know, hey, this is the way we go, but maybe my family's not ready or available. So taking time to pray about it, to hear God on it, to say, okay, when is the timing? What's the appropriate place? How do I get everybody on board? And then as I do that, I care for their hearts. I care for my wife and say, okay, I know this is hard for you. This is what I've been praying about. Can you tell me why this is difficult for you and what the reservation is? And can we talk a little bit more about that? So now I'm drawing out her heart. And then I say, okay, I can see your concerns here. I understand that. And I will consider that. Now, I'm going to work on prepping her heart to take care of those concerns. And as I do, I'm doing this slowly with this occurrence continuation of showing up. And I just do it over and over and over. So it's happening often. And in that process, I help her to get to a place that she feels comfortable with. Now, there may be times where I feel a direction and then God changes where I'm going. And I say, all right, we need to change. I understand your concerns and God is showing me something through this. And I take time to hear that as well. This will lead to having more authority in your marriage and in your family. But you can't be weak on your occurrence. You have to do it often. And then you also have to have a good approach. And then over time, I know I said duration earlier, but over time is a huge part. It's a little bit different than occurrence. Occurrence is how often. So in a week would be a time length, but how often am I meeting my spouse and seeing their heart, my spouse's heart and my children's hearts? If I'm aware of that and saying, within this week, I'm going to have 3 or 4 conversations, it's great. There's an occurrence. It's happening repetitiously. Okay. And then with the duration or over time, I'm going to do that not just for 1 week, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks, get to 3 months. And as I'm doing something for 3 months, I have solidified in my heart and my mind that there is a purpose because I know this is important enough to fight for. I'm going to choose battles that are worth fighting for and have good purpose. Then I can apply the occurrence and I can apply the approach and I can apply the duration of time to fight for those. And as I'm doing it with Christ. And he's showing me, this is good. This is what we needed to go after. Or he's saying, check your heart here. What's going on? And I'm going to ask that question often, especially with my spouse. If there's a point of contingency that she's saying, if this happens and this, and she may even have frustrations and irritations, and she says, this is about you and not about us, or she says, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to do it slowly. I'm going to check my heart in the process. I'm going to say, okay, what is it in my heart that wants this purpose? Because I'm going to keep coming back with that occurrence, the approach, and the duration. And as I do that, my heart grows, but also my family grows in the process. So compassion and consistency are pillars of authority. We want to keep this in mind as we continue going after authority back in our families and saying, you know what, I love my family enough to be the leader and not just let leadership go to the wayside and say, whatever happens, happens. I'll just allow my marriage and my children to just go down a path for the next 20 years and not really be intentional. We want to take back that authority and say, intentionality is very important. I know where this family is going. Let's lead the charge. And let's do it with the mindset that this is the kingdom of heaven that I'm operating in, and I'm doing it for the glory of God. I hope this is helpful. God bless. Let us know how these videos are impacting you. Like and subscribe, and we'll keep them coming.